This is Jack Pelham, the director of the Beginning Recorder Band at WE Montana. I've put together this short video to explain our Beginning Recorder Band class and to make the pitch for why someone should join it. First of all, let me state that this class is loads of fun. It's a 2-semester course, and it meets on Mondays from 9:50 a.m. to 10:40 a.m., so that's 50 minutes. The first semester runs from September 14th through our December 15th concert, and then the second semester runs from January 11 through April 26 or so, which will be our end-of-the-year concert. This course is for students who are 9 years old and up, and that includes parents and older siblings, even if they're older than 18. And I'll tell you why it's open to adults in just a minute. The class is quite simple, actually. Let me show you a clip of some of our skits cast, giving a short example of what this class might be like. Some of these are already trained musicians, and some aren't, but you can imagine what it might be like in our first couple of sessions. And remember to add in younger kids and parents into your imaginary version of what you're about to see. First, they play Mary Had a Little Lamb, and you won't be able to see my conducting because I'm actually behind the camera shooting the video. You'll notice that the recorder is not the most beautiful sounding instrument in the world, at least not by most people's opinion. And this ensemble could have used some work in getting the recorders tuned in the beginning, but we skipped that step. So now I want to give you an example of one exercise we might do in class, and it's an exercise aimed at getting students to understand the big picture of a song better and to understand their particular place in it. What you'll see here is that I've lined up the players and have asked them each to play the notes of the song in succession with only one player to a note. This requires them to process the song differently and presents a fun challenge. Okay, we're going to run this one more time, and this time everybody take just one note, and then the next note your neighbor does. So we're going to start here with Aiden, and I think you understand the drill. So here we go. 1, 2, ready, go. Now remember, I'm going to tell you why this class is open for parents and older siblings in just a bit, so keep watching. But first, let's talk about what you'll need. You'll need this book, which retails for $8.99 at Hanson's. And you'll need one of these recorders, which are $5.99 at Hanson's. Now there are certainly other brands available, such as Yamaha, for example, but these are just fine, and they're quite inexpensive, though you can spend more money for some other brand if you like. But whatever you do, be sure you're buying a Baroque soprano recorder. There are other kinds available, and their fingerings are somewhat different, so that would cause a train wreck in class if you come with one of those. You'll also need a portable music stand, such as this general type. These range in price and style and can normally be found from $10 to $20 if you don't already have one in the closet somewhere. We only have a few stands here in the great room, not enough for everybody, so you'll need to have your own, which you can certainly use at home, of course. Meanwhile, I'll direct the class like a band director would do, using a baton and teaching all the same terminology and music theory that you'd get in a beginning band in a public school. The reason we use recorders instead of traditional band instruments are these. Number 1, they're much more affordable than traditional band instruments. Number 2, the average student can learn to get a good tone from the instrument on the first day. Number 3, given the ease of playing, a one-day-a-week schedule will be much more productive than it would be for a traditional band class. And number 4, so that you can learn to be a musician with much less fuss and cost than in a traditional band. Now, I promised I'd tell you why we allow parents and older siblings in the class. Our tagline at WeMontana is lifelong learning and engagement. So here's a sad story I've heard again and again. It goes something like this. Someone will say, "I've never learned to read music when I was a kid." And when you ask them why they don't learn it now, it's generally because they either don't think they can, or that it's just too inconvenient to do it now that they have an adult schedule. Well, it only takes one class session to get a start on reading music. And after 2 semesters of it, you should be good enough that you can read a piece of low or moderate difficulty on sight, just playing it right off the sheet music, just like you can read words off a printed page in English. And you should be able to do this on a recorder or as a singer, and that makes you a musician. There are so many stories of great players and singers who could not read music, and it's such a shame. Imagine hearing a great speaker who could not read printed speeches. It simply limits their involvement in the musical world because they never learned the fairly simple written language that musicians use to speak to one another. Now, I don't mean to knock those who can't read music, but when a skill like that can be learned in such a short time, you have to wonder why so many people put it off and never end up doing it. I've seen this again and again in adult choruses. The story goes something like this. A new member joins and can't read music, but they're getting ready for a show in a couple of months, so they teach him all his music by rote, that is, by repetition. And this takes up a lot of valuable rehearsal time to do this. But they muddle through it and get him ready for the big show. And then after the show, when they could settle down and teach him to read music, they don't because, well, the next show is only 6 months away, and they'd better get busy with that. And all this may sound rather reasonable, but here's where it becomes really obvious that something is wrong with this plan. Let's fast forward 30 years, and now that new member who couldn't read music is now the president of the chorus, and he still doesn't read music. And you wonder how, in 30 years' time, they could never figure out how to teach him the skills. So when our WeMontana slogan says, lifelong learning and engagement, we have this kind of thing in mind. We know that not every adult would have it as their first choice to learn to read music in a class where the students are as young as 9. But for those who could enjoy that well enough, this is an easy opportunity finally to learn to read music. We don't have enough registrations now to see a trend, but we fully expect to have students from all across the age spectrum, including parents. Further, I want you to know that some of the students in this class will surely excel, just as in any class, and I hope to make opportunities for them to play a special piece here and there, perhaps in our chorus concerts, and in our talent shows, and in a semester-ending recorder concert if we have one. And since we also have a beginning guitar class, we may find opportunity to mix these 2 classes together on occasion for some ensemble playing. Also, if you don't already know it, there is more than one instrument in the recorder family. Look at these. At the end of this video, I'll put a few links to different larger ensembles playing recorders. So this class is designed to give you enough repetition over one school year that you should be able to play a piece of moderate difficulty on sight. And I also have our chorus in mind. One of the reasons to have this class is to get students prepared to be excellent chorus members who can read their own sheet music on sight, so that we can learn our notes much faster and have time to learn more music for our performances. That's why I hope you'll take the recorder band, if you don't already have these skills. But you're also welcome if you simply think you might enjoy it, even if you used to play recorder or used to read music some but have lost your skills. We keep a very orderly rehearsal, but it's also quite fun and friendly. So I hope this helps you to know more about our beginning recorder band and what to expect. I know for a fact that we'll have some 9-year-olds in the class, so again, don't let this video that our skits class put together fool you into thinking that it's only for teens. Thanks for watching, and I hope we'll fill the class. It's capped at 30 students, so don't wait to sign up. Oh, and don't forget to watch at least the first video linked in the description of this present video.